All right. I do mud fossil research, and you can see all these rocks right here. These are, I have rocks, and I think I have some meteors and meteorites and things like that. Anyway, every single thing that I have found originates from life. They were all alive, breathing oxygen, walking around, doing things like you and me. It's just a fact. There's nothing. It's absolutely no question, because I have found the chemical signatures and the anatomical proof. They all have arteries and veins. They all have blood. No question about it. I'm going to show unimpeachable evidence of this. And if anybody has a question that they want to have answered, I am 100% willing. And I want anybody that can come up with any other reason for this other than just, oh, it's this, it's that, it's a chondrite, it's a iron meteorite, it's a this, or, you know, I know the names of them, but I am going to tell you what their anatomical origin is, because everything is from life. So, and I do know what these things are from. I know what are tendons, I know what are lungs, I know what are bones, I know what are fingers, and I can tell you all of these things. I have seen them copious amounts of times, hundreds and thousands of times. I've been doing this a very long time, and I have a lot of specimens. By the time I was done with my work, I filled a 200-foot drainage ditch with what I had examined, and I still have it coming out of my ears, because every single rock on the face of this planet, other than lava, has veins and arteries. And all you have, look, all you have to do is look. This didn't get here by itself. You see that black spot in that other place? I don't know if you can see that or not. You see, that's a vein, and that's an artery. And they all have them. And this thing gushed blood out of here when I cracked it open. You see out of here? It's all dried up now. This was years ago. But I have them that literally gush blood. I have one over here somewhere. I don't know where it is right now. But anyway, I'm going to go through all these things one at a time. And I'm not going to do any fancy job. And if you don't like it, well, have a nice day. If you like it, look. That's all I can tell you. It's not accepted. It's 100% rejected, because what it indicates is something that is hard to accept. And that is that if everything was alive, and I mean literally everything, I'm talking alive thinking, oh yeah, it's sort of alive. No, I'm talking blood and guts. Kabish? Blood and guts coming through the atmosphere, and the blood turns into iron. It smelts. And when you cut that smelt in half, you are going to find veins and arteries. And I will show you one right now from this site right here. Hold on a second. Stay with me. Like I said, I'm not going to do any fancy job. If you don't like it, have a nice day. All right, let's go back to iron. Hold on one second. All right, let's see. This is rocky meteorites. Let's go to iron meteorites. How about that? Iron meteorites. I type terrible, I do everything terribly, but I get the job done somehow. Here, hold on a second. Image. Alright. You see this? You look at that. You see that up there over on the left? You see that red dot? Right there, and that black dot? That is iron from blood, and it's absolutely no question. This is FeO3. No, it's the 3 oxygen blood, and that's the 2 oxygen blood. And you know why? Because this is arterial blood, and it's oxygenated, and when it goes through all the little vessels, and they eat up all the little oxygens, it ends up over here, and it's only the 2 oxygen blood, because they use the oxygens. Case closed. It's exactly no question. Now, this as you see, has all kind of crystal structures. Well, why did that happen? I can tell you exactly why it happened. Because this, in addition to be an iron, it has all the other metals that are in a creature. And there's metals and there's minerals and so forth, and those don't sublimate off, and they don't vaporize off, and they don't smelt off like the organic stuff. The organic stuff smelts, gone. And what you end up is with a lump of iron, but it's festered hot. It's not, it hasn't boiled into like a ball of water like hot. It's festered hot. It's vaporized everything out and left its crystalline structure. Once this gets etched, the metals that have, every metal has a different little crystalline structure. That is the sacred geometry, I believe. When they talk about sacred geometry, it's the angular bonding of crystal minerals. And those angles will, every time, they will be all different. No one, not any one of them have the same type of angles. It's like snowflakes. Not a single one has the same angle. It's just what happens. It's the way it works. But, I mean, I'm talking about every type of mineral will have a different type of angle. And that's the quantum stuff. And that, I believe, is how the body actually works. That's a whole other issue. Let's just stay with this stuff. That thing there, I'm telling you, is a product of life. There is absolutely no, and every single one of them has. It's not just that one. So anyway, this has got a lot of stuff we got to go over and look at and to think about. And I have all the evidence for it, and I'll just go over one piece at a time. But that'll be where I'm going to start. And if you like that, well, we're going to do a bunch more. And I guess that's about it. I got over here. We got a whole batch of lungs. I got lungs coming out of my ears. And you see that? That's what a lung is, and there's no question with it. You see all that iron inside there? That's the blood. And it pumps through here, picks up oxygen, and attaches to the hemoglobin. And now listen to this. Now here's the cool thing. The reason the DNA is protected in blood is something called chelation. Chelation is where you take a metal. So let's take iron. Now iron is Fe, all right, and it's like a little atom. It's just got a center and it's got a bunch of little electrons rolling around, circulating around. Let's just think of it that way. Now, and it sits there, and iron rusts and things, so it wants to get some other things attached to it. Well, what happens is it chelates, and the iron gets circled with what they call ligands. They're little other molecules that surround it and keep that iron protected from decay, really. And that iron is attached to hemoglobin, and hemoglobin is attached to DNA, and the whole thing is invested inside there. And I had it here. I'll show you this one here. Hold on. I got it over here somewhere. Here it is. Oh, here's the one I told you bled like a stuck pig, and it did. I mean, I have pictures of it. I have bubbles of blood. Every one of these little bubbles, here, let me go back this way, turned into a bubble of blood, and I mean bubbled. I'll show you the pictures of it. Anyway, this is a lung, and this other one here, and you see, this is, I'm not just guessing this is a lung. These are all the articulations of the lobes of the lung. You see, this is everything here, the structure of the lung, every single bit of it. That flap on the end, they all have that. Now, this one was DNA tested, fully DNA tested, and it is 100% human. And you see that? That's where all the blood, I mean, the whole thing is loaded with blood. And this, if it came through the atmosphere, would be that. Because this would smelt, it's loaded with blood. It's completely, totally saturated with blood. Because the tunica, which is this fabric that wraps around it, it's called fascia. That fascia protects the contents of this thing just like it was alive, because it was in mud. Mud fossils protect. See this? This is the architecture of a lung. They have this, every one of them has this little thing, human lungs, that has that little investment flap at the top. You see that there? This is the left lung. That depression is the depression of the heart. This is not something I'm making up. This is totally 100% fully understood. This over here is the airway. It's hard to see, but what it does, let's see if I can get you a good shot at that, because it's there, there's no question it's there. How to see it, sometimes very difficult, but let's see. You see, so you got to play with light on these things. Anyway, it's a long, there's no question, it was DNA test, 100%. And 100 base pairs. That is a lot of DNA, 100 base pairs. And that's like hitting the lottery 1,000 times a week. 100 in a row, 100 base pairs, exactly identical. And everything he tested was 100% human mitochondrial DNA. So, it's just got to be looked at by academia who refuses to look at it. Because the consequences of them looking at it means that virtually everything they've been saying is not true. So I understand that, you know, why they don't want to jump into this, just, you know, say, oh, this guy's right. But if you got something to look at, you should look at it. That's my point. That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to hurt anybody. Now look at this one. This one would come through. This was a heart or something, because you see, it's or maybe a liver or something like that. But that's nothing else than that. This was a life. This was from life. No question about it. That is a fingertip. It's been DNA tested, and it's a fingertip. And way off to that side, if you can see down there, that's where we broke off a piece and tested it from deep inside. And I have that piece at the inside of the house. Now, I was going to try to take... His fingerprints on here are actually absolutely pristine, but they're on the other side. It's frozen into the ground. It's cold as hell out here. My hands are frozen. Now, I have a tiny piece of it inside, and I will show you, and it's very tiny. And I'll show you that inside, but I can't move that rock. And there's more of them around here that are from the same sort of thing, but the other side up in here is where the fingerprint is, and it is absolutely pristine.